go there.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I know. Especially. Okay, so looking at seniors being ready for college, and this is data from the Greater Austin Chamber of Commerce. We have a dotted line to show that that the 2 years are not quite comparable. In the second year of measurement, we have 5 more districts who are participating in that work. So what we're seeing here is we're seeing a lot more kids being counted in their pool, and yet the rate went up. That's very unusual.
So these are high school students. Yeah.
These are high school seniors, and according to their tax, ACT, SAT, they're considered ready for college coursework.
I'd like to say thanks to Drew Chevrolet and the Chamber and their programs on education because they're addressing this very issue. Thanks, Tim Crowley.
Thanks.
Thank you, Tim Crowley.
And I also want to say that I think I know at our districts, the counselors and teachers are beginning to identify those students in the 9th grade, working hard with them to make sure they get all their credits that they need to graduate on time. And then also in their 11th grade, really helping them to bear down on that 11th grade tax so they can get the rate they need, the score they need in order to be considered college ready. So it's a big deal.
And we're looking at whether kids can go to college.
Okay. Let's see. It is 2,300 score on the tax, and they consider the English language arts tax and the math tax separately. And then for the SAT and the ACT, I cannot quite recall the scores, but certain cut points for those 2 tests. I can have to get the exact information for you.
The question is, so college readiness percentage is much lower than the previous indicator for those who passed the tax portions of the test.
That's right, because the passing is a different scale score. It's like 2,100, so being college and career ready is 2,300. You're right. Oh, so the comment he made was that this being college ready is much lower than the percentage of students who pass the 11th grade tax. Also because it's English and math together, and we're looking at both. Looks like we have another question in the back. No, I do not have a slide for the gap. It's probably pretty big. Okay. Let's catch up where we are. All right. I think we're on to the last slide, Pete.
All right.
Okay. So here we're looking at the on-time graduation rate. We see that it has declined from last year to this year. There has been a change at the state level as to how dropouts are counted, and that does affect the on-time graduation rate as well. And so the two, this last year and this year, aren't really comparable. Again, that's why you see a dashed line. We'll know a lot more about how we're doing in this measure from this year forward.
Aren't the districts still very concerned about this problem?
Yes, they are, and they're definitely working with their kiddos on this, to get them completion rate. And then the very last set of numbers on the right-hand side, that is the high school graduates enrolling in college in the fall right after they've graduated. So we call this the direct-to-college rate. We get this data from the Ray Marshall Center. What the beauty of this data is that the Ray Marshall Center has data for nationwide. So this is not just entry into Texas colleges, but anywhere in the nation. So we feel that it's fairly accurate. As we see, it's steady. But again, they have added more districts to their study, so we can't really say it's comparable for one year to the next.
But in any event, we want it to be higher, no matter what. And the Chamber of Commerce and others in this effort are very concerned about the number.
Yes, and in terms of closing the gap measures, and also our local colleges here are right on top of this. They really want to see this go up higher. I think one thing also is that this is about 3 out of every 5 students. I think one thing we have to be concerned about is that these are the kids who actually made it to high school graduation. We have estimates of about 7,000 students who enter 9th grade in Central Texas that never end up crossing the stage, and that is an incredible loss in terms of their prosperity.
I can remember an E3 session we did at the Irwin Center when we stressed this number of the 7,000 students who don't walk across the stage. We looked up in the balcony of the Irwin Center, and that number of people is the number of students who didn't cross the stage and get a diploma.
That's
Shocking
right.
number.
It would be this room times 70, I think. There's about 100 people here today. Yes. And so with the Pero Una Buena Vida campaign, we learned that if you have a high school diploma, you earn $1 million in your lifetime. If you have a college diploma, you earn $2 million in your lifetime. If you're bilingual, then you have that many more job opportunities and a higher income. And so that loss of 7,000 kiddos who never cross the stage is incredible to both their personal prosperity and also to Central Texas as well.
Well, that's what I want Susan to put on the bumper sticker to explain E3 Alliance, is that very, very stat. I think it's a great message.
It needs to be 6 words or less, Pete.
Yeah, I know it does.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll work on it. Okay, great. So I think that's it for our data. I hope everybody's still awake and have thought about what we need to focus on in the next years to come.
Thank you, Carol. Thank you for listening.
It's been a pleasure, Pete. Thank you so much.
And we're going to bring some people up who are going to talk about some of the outcomes.
Yes, I'm here to also introduce Hannah Gurgey. Apparently they didn't do special slides for you, Hannah, to show your origins. But Hannah Gurgey, she's the Deputy Director of E3 Alliance and directs our alignment efforts. And she's going to tell us more. She's going to help us know more about what's our efforts this past year.